Hello and welcome. You know, we have been on roll. We have been on a roll with many shows and the mangas we have read over the course of history. I've been with the Naruto crew for years, and I love how it ended. I've been on a roll with the One Piece crew, and I still am to this day. And I'm still reading the mangas to this day, over and over and over again. Now, recently, I did my final thoughts on Domestic Girlfriend. And I've been reading, also I have been reading a manga, and I finished, after 4 years, we have reached the moment on this manga, and the anime last year was so spectacular that I couldn't help myself. I had to read it. And I'm talking about The Promise Neverland. That's right, The Promise Neverland. The Promise Neverland came out in 2016, and it finished. I know it's supposed to be finished today, but I finished it yesterday because I got an early release. But I read it yesterday, and boy, I love The Promise Neverland. 4 years with Emma, Ray, and Norman, and boy, I love it. Now, I'm gonna do my best not to spoil you guys, because I know some of y'all waiting for the season 2, and season 2 is next year. I get that, but I'm gonna do my best not to spoil any of you. But I will tell you this: you have to read it. Don't wait. I know some of y'all prefer to wait until season 2 or season 3 of a show comes in play, but trust me, you want to read it. Now, The Promised Neverland. 181 chapters, 20 volumes of adventures with the big three, Emma, Ray, and Norman. And boy, it was an emotional ride. Now, what is The Promised Neverland? Well, think about this. The Promised Neverland came out in 2019 in winter. That year was one of the most epic years ever. One of the most better animes than this year. But 2019 brought out, remember, the winter. 2019 was the start of the dawn of a new era. By that, I mean, think about this. We had Mob Psycho Season 2 in that time. The Promised Neverland. We had Domestic Girlfriend. We had Rise of the Shield Hero. We had Kaguya-sama Lovers War. We had the Quintessential Quadruplets. Those were the top shows in winter of winter 2019. And not only that, The Promised Neverland was nominated for multiple awards. Best Girl, Best Boy, Best Protagonist, Anime of the Year. It won Best Drama, I think. It won Best Drama, I think, yeah. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate Demon Slayer winning Anime of the Year, but, you know, if I had, if I had to pick between Promise Neverland or Demon Slayer, I would have to pick Promise Neverland to win Anime of the Year. But, you know, I props to Demon Slayer on that. But other than that, Promise Neverland, we've been on a roll with the Promise Neverland episodes, and it's still driven to the course of rewatching over and over again. This is one of the shows that you need to watch over and over again. Not only for the characters, but the opening as well. You know, like, fire. And they got like, na 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 na. I love that opening still to this day. But what is The Promised Neverland? I'm going to give you guys a little summary on this and give you my final thoughts on it. So here's the thing. What is The Promised Neverland? Well, The Promised Neverland starts off with the big three. Emma, Ray, and Norman. Emma, the orange-haired girl. One that's always on fire, always energetic, always the athletic one. And she is athletic as hell. I mean, she runs like hell. You got Ray, the Sasuke of the group. It means a lot of memes with him, but he's the Sasuke. Ray is more the technician type. You know, he's the architect of the group. You know, he may have some Sasuke vibes along the way, and he does, but you're gonna like him. Then you got Norman, the brains of the group. Although he's like somewhat fast than Ray and Emma, Norman is more smart. He is more of the brains of the operation out of the big three. Now, those are top 3 students. Now, all this led about a little grace field. This is all about a little grace field. You know, little kids, little orphans with their code in their necks, being test subjects and playing tag. And tag could be ruthless in their time. And then they're being raised by Isabella. Mama, for sure, or Isabella. And I gotta say something. Isabella, wow. Isabella has gotta be on the list as one of the greatest female anime villains of all time. I mean, you have to put her up there with Esdeath from Megami Kill. You gotta put her with Lust from Fullmetal Alchemist. You gotta put her with Annie from Attack on Titan. You gotta put her with Junko from Danganronpa. You gotta put her with Melty Bitch, aka Bitch from Rise of the Shield Hero. But Isabella is on the top 10 greatest anime female villains of all time, and she plays this. So at the first episode, you guys watch it and you think it's so simple, it's so peaceful, quiet. You know, little kids, orphans, you know, running around playing tag, testing. But then that one night, that one episode got me going. And this is why I got me doing reviews of the Promise Neverland. This part got me like, what the fuck? So Emma and Norman was seeing Connie farewell, and then all of a sudden they see a bunny that they left. That they thought she left it. So they went outside the field. The one rule that you never go to: don't go outside the field. So they left the gates, and the moment they see the truck, boom, Connie's dead. And I'm like, whoa, she's dead? And not only that, they realize that they're being, the big three and the rest of the students are test subjects, farm producers. They're getting eaten by demons. Demons! Talking demons. They devour kids. They eat the brains. They eat the liver. They test subjects. And they eat them. And who's delivering the kids to eat the demons? Isabella. Bella is the villain. Now, again, great villain, by the way. Now, once Emma and Norman realized the truth behind all of this, it's time for them to escape. And it's kind of like a chicken run thing. You know the movie Chicken Run? They find ways to escape, and it's like a game of chess between Isabella and the big three. So it's a game of chess. Who's gonna outsmart the other in order to escape, to live or die? Make your choice. That's how it is. Now, 12 episodes of that, trying to find ways to escape the Grace Field and all that stuff. I'm not going to spoil much about the Promise Neverland, to be honest. Because people still haven't read about it. People are still eager to read it. Some people are waiting for season 2. And I understand. But now this is where my final thoughts come in. For this, I'm not going to spoil you guys, but I will say this. The last chapter of the Promised Neverland, I fell in love with it. I cried a little bit because 4 years we've been with this journey, and I love how it ended. The only minor thing I have a problem with it is that they kind of rushed it. You know, they kind of rushed it. And I got this feeling, deep down in me, I got this feeling that there's going to be an epilogue behind it. Like, I got this feeling we're going to do a time skip, like a 5-year time skip or a 10-year time skip. Something tells me that's going to happen. But reading the last chapter of The Promised Neverland, 4 years of this and the last chapter of it, it comes to terms about it. Like, the lesson behind this, it's like reading Naruto. Like, when you read Naruto and you finally get to the end of it, what did it tell you? The lesson behind it was that never give up. Never give up. Never go back on your word. Accomplish your goals. That's that. When I read The Promised Neverland, 4 years of this, and how it ended, the lesson for this, and I understand this, the lesson is, like in the words of Itachi, never forget your friends. And even though, I can't spoil it, but even though it was the ultimate sacrifice in that last chapter, it still comes to that point where you're like, we're still friends regardless. That's the Promised Neverland. Like, that is the promise. That never forget. Never forget your friends. And that's the promise. See how it is, the Promised Neverland? Never forget your friends and promise to be together regardless. That's what the Promised Neverland did. It was a good ending. So sad to see it. You know, it was a good ending. Not like a sad ending, but it was a good ending to see how it goes. And it warms my heart to see it. Now, I will say this. The MVP if we were to take, now me personally, if we were to take the big three, Emma, Ray, and Norman out of the equation, and we ask ourselves for side characters, who is the MVP? It's Phil. I like Phil from the beginning till now. I like Phil, and Phil got my you got my respect with it. Now, like I said, my final thoughts on the Promise Neverland. You know, like I said, the ending was so good, I couldn't help myself getting over it. It was an emotional episode. Although it kind of rushed it, I hope they do a time skip. But the way how it ended, like I said, it was so sad. A good ending make you want to cry a little bit, and it did. Reading the Promise Neverland just got like, dang, all the sacrifices they had to go through, all the trials, the misbehaves, the pros and cons, stab you in the back, all that moments, everything about the Promised Neverland had it. But like I said, good ending and a good way to go down. So now Promised Neverland ended, Demon Slayer has ended, and the Seven Deadly Sins ended. The future holds for most mangas out there, but let's see how that works out. But like I said, my thoughts on the Promised Neverland, great job. You made a tear come down to my eye in this last chapter, and for that, I thank you. So that's it for now. Tomorrow or Wednesday, I'll probably do a video, something I'm gonna do that's crazy, and you're probably gonna like it. So thank you for watching.